Hi guys, my name is Rachel White. I'm a JFK assassination researcher, and this video is going to be about research and how research has come about, and I'm going to pay tribute to a number of people. So really, from the very beginning, there has been research into the JFK assassination, and much needed. So the very first person really that was on the case and could have solved this the very first weekend, had he really had opportunity to do so and wasn't pressured not to, and wasn't detracted or harassed, was Deputy Sheriff Roger Craig. He was on it. He saw Lee Harvey Oswald come down off the knoll into the Nash Rambler, and was absolutely determined that it was Lee Harvey Oswald in that Nash Rambler, and Lee actually verified that for him in any case in his own interrogation during that weekend. And Roger Craig also found the Mauser up on the 6th floor there, along with the Mannlicher Carcano in the TSBD. And so we have two weapons, and the Warren Commission and the investigation wanted to go with the Mannlicher Carcano and said, this is the weapon, this is the weapon. Roger Craig never wavered from that. He always said that it wasn't, it was a Mauser. It had Mauser stamped on the barrel. That's the weapon that they found. And all credit to him, because this man lost his life for the sake of the truth, as many others have. And I do believe that had he been left alone and not harassed, and didn't lose his job, didn't lose his marriage, if he'd been allowed to be in his own natural capacity an investigator, I believe he would have been an incredible force. So I want to pay tribute to him, because in the end he was found dead and they said he committed suicide. I don't believe that. So I believe that Roger Craig gave his life because of the truth. So kudos to him. And there's been other researchers, Mark Lane in the 1960s and further along, fantastic attorney. He worked very much with the family, with Marguerite particularly. Marguerite herself, Oswald's mother, she was an amazing lady, She never wavered in her search for the truth about what had happened to her son. She believed in Lee Harvey Oswald's innocence completely. She believed that he had served his country as a hero, and I agree with her, and I just think she was an incredible force for good. And Marguerite, we just want to honour you, because you were on the right track. You were on the right track there. And there's been many others. Harold Weisberg, Jim Mars, and Jim Garrison. Jim Garrison was the only one really ever to bring a legal prosecution in the case of the murder of JFK, and he arranged a trial for Clay Shaw. Clay Shaw was involved with David Ferrie in New Orleans and the Cancer Bioweapon Project. Although Garrison, if he found out about the Cancer Bioweapon Project, never made that public. I believe he was this close, and he was so close to finding out all of that side of the information about the past of Lee Harvey Oswald in New Orleans and the activities there. Hampered by problems, his office was bugged. He had infiltrators on his team. He was harassed. He took a huge personal risk to investigate this case as he did, and I believe he was so close to understanding that there was Judith Ferry Baker in the mix at that point. Judith herself, I just love the lady. She's just fantastic. She has stood by Lee. And for those of you who don't really know who she is, she worked alongside Lee Harvey Oswald in 1963 with David Ferrie in his kitchen there, working on the Cancer Bioweapon Project, secret project. And she has taken so much flack and hatred, and people not believing her story. But her story stands, and I want to say, Judith, if you're listening to this video, I totally believe in you. I totally do. And I just want to thank you for your complete committal to your own personal cost, for bringing us the truth about Lee Harvey Oswald. And please go and read Judith's book, Me and Lee, because it will change everything, your understanding about who Lee Harvey Oswald really is, the man, the man who he was. So fantastic. You know, we've had other people, many other people. Jim Mars, obviously, an incredible force for good. You know, and all of these people, and I just feel that they are, you know, research giants. There's many others that I haven't got time to mention. And I think what Richard and I are doing are we're using the building blocks of all of these research giants, and we are looking at all of their work and their investigation, and we're saying you know, we're taking it on a stage, and we're building from what they have given us. And you know, and I want to say that we're not the first researchers to understand that Jackie shot JFK. We're not at all. And I think that we kind of got to that place because firstly, Richard stumbled across or knew of Bill Cooper, who was involved in the establishment, and he read a document, and he went and did an interview about this, that told him that William Greer, it's actually I saw a written document that William Greer, the driver of the limo, was tasked with shooting JFK with a toxin dart, and he knew that, and he made that public, and he has been kind of vilified for that point of view. But I want to say that Richard and I believe that completely. He went on also to say lots of other things which you can research out on YouTube for yourself. But one of the things he did do was he predicted 9/11, Bill Cooper. And just weeks after that happened, I think he was on his own driveway, and I think somebody came up and shot him in front of his own house. So this man, he's another one who has given his life for the sake of truth. And I just want to honour Bill Cooper. And Alan Lamont, there's some videos on YouTube. Alan did a wonderful, he was one of the first really to really look at the Zapruder film and slow it down and look at Jackie's actions in the car. And this is on YouTube also, to say that Jackie was the shooter of JFK. So we're not the first people saying this. Alan Lamont did a wonderful expose of this, and he's done it from the position of Jackie being involved with the Jesuits, and he's done a lot of other investigation work into this organisation, the Jesuits, in terms of the Catholic priests, the high Catholic priests there, and what they believe and what their agenda is and how that fits into the establishment. So please go and review his work. So I want to say, Alan, thank you, because we've been able to take your research and we've been able to build into that and expand it a little bit further with our own investigation, because this is how investigation works. Okay, and it's my hope that people in our community will look at some of our work in the future and be able to find more evidence that expands that even more. Okay, because what we want is the complete truth to be known. So we can only go as far as we can see. And in the future, when technology is even greater and there's more resources to hand, researchers are going to come along after us and expand the points and make sure that they're, you know, really clarified even more so. And that's what I want to see. Now, I am just an ordinary housewife, really. I'm not a professional researcher. I and Richard, we don't get any money for doing what we do. We do this from the heart. And I want to say to you guys, there's nothing special about either of us, really. We're just ordinary people with a heart to find out the truth. And so if we're ordinary people doing this, then this option of researching and finding out truth is available to absolutely anyone. Absolutely anyone. All you have to do is look at the evidence yourself, read as much as you can, and look at the internet. There's a huge resource on the internet, and corroborate things together, and to look at things together, and to look at lots and lots of other unanswered questions about different incidents and events and things that we believe are false flags and hoaxes. Let's research it out together. Richard, whoever, cannot do it all. We need everyone to research for themselves and to present it to the world. And I want to say, if you feel called to being a researcher, go for it. Switch off your TV and research the truth. Instead of having propaganda and lies put in, research the truth and get the truth out. And that's really the way to look at it. Okay, because that television that we sit in front of every night, night after night after night, is just feeding us all of the rubbish. And it's time to stop that, because we're never going to get the truth from mainstream media. Not ever. But the only way to know the truth is to know the truth for ourselves. And the only way to do that is to read and research and research and research. And I want to say, if you want to research any area, anything, please go for it. Just go for it. We have, obviously, we're very involved in the JFK assassination research part of things, clearly. But there are other things to research, and Richard has other pages and a whole conspiracy page. And I have another conspiracy page with unanswered questions. So please go research out and come back to us and input what you find, whatever you find. And I promise you, we'll be 100% behind the truth. If you find truth, we'll be on your side for sure, because we are on the side of truth. And I think as well that the JFK community as it stands at the moment, the research community, is exceptionally toxic right now. We've got, it seems to me, many camps, and as I look around, certainly look around Facebook, I have to say that we are all seemingly at loggerheads with each other. Everybody seems to be fighting and doing each other down, and you know, wanting to put their point of view across and debating, and it's getting personal, and there's personal attacks. I've been the victim of personal attacks many a time, and you know, blocked off certain groups for speaking the truth, and all sorts of things go on. And I personally want to see an end to that. And I know that people have been put in there to place disinformation, and there's been problems in our research community for a very long time. But it's time that we, all of us, get on the side of truth. It doesn't matter if people make mistakes in research. Let's not worry about mistake. If we make a mistake, I'm certainly big enough to say, oh, I was wrong about that. And let's come back then with a clarification on what is the truth. Okay? Instead of just getting at people and saying, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. And I'm really fed up with the level of, you know, kind of angry, kind of angst between research and researcher. We've got to stop that, because when we're divided like that, we stop the progress of research. We've got to come together. We've got to. Okay, so this is really what I want to say. But the main thing I want to say is, be a researcher. Go for it. Just do the work. Do the work, because it's an amazing journey, and I can totally recommend it to you. So, this is me, and we will talk soon.